Guys, welcome to the last video for chapter number 8, where I'm going to solve for the last part, which asks us to allocate costs using the reciprocal method. And I accidentally stopped the previous video while I was explaining it, but no worries, I'm going to finish it now. Alright, so as I said, we're going to be using simultaneous equations in order to solve this, and that is the most accurate way because the reciprocal method acknowledges that support departments do use each other. So it acknowledges that janitorial does use administration, and administration does use janitorial services as well. Okay, so in order for us to do that, we need to come up with two equations that we can use to estimate our costs. So janitorial, we're going to start off with janitorial costs equal to your direct costs, which are given over here in the Excel file over here, plus so since we're acknowledging that it uses the other support department, we need to include that here. But how would we do that? So janitorial costs use up some part of administration, right? That like the employees are relevant to administration, right? But that one employee is still working in janitorial. That means that we need to acknowledge that and we need to include that in our calculation. So we're going to take the one over here, which should be in admin because it's relevant to admin. We take the 1 here and divide it by 4 because we're taking this one, and we're not going to be taking the 1 in admin because that is the cost, that is the department that we're discussing, right? So we're going to take the 1 in janitorial plus the 2 and the 1, that comes out to 4, and multiply by my admin cost. That is my first equation. So the big picture is that the janitorial cost is the direct cost plus 1/4 of the admin costs. So that is my first equation. My second equation is going to be for admin. So admin costs equal to same drill. Direct costs first, which are given in the Excel file over here, the blue one, plus what part of admin is using janitorial. So 50 lies in janitorial, right? So we're going to take that 50 plus the 120 and 30, and we're going to do this. So we're going to take the 50 divided by 120 and 30, 150 and 50, that's 200, multiplied by our janitorial. So we're acknowledging that the admin department does use janitorial services as well. So equation number 2. Now in order for me to solve this, I have two unknowns here, right? I have my janitorial costs, which is an unknown, and I have my admin costs, which is an unknown. Direct costs are known to us, right? So this is how the equation is going to go. So I'm going to substitute my admin costs into my janitorial costs. So janitorial equals to my direct costs of 29,800. So 29,800 plus 1/4 of multiplied by this entire equation. So direct costs of admin are 49,800. 49,800 plus 50 divided by 200 times janitorial. Now see here, we have converted the equation such that we only have one unknown left, which is janitorial. And we're going to transfer this equation onto Excel. So essentially I'm going to solve it here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my 29,800. I'm going to take my 29,800 plus, actually I'm going to leave my 29,800 in one column, and then I'm going to solve for this part of the equation. So I'm going to take 1/4 of 49,800, so 1/4 of 49,800, that comes out to, what just happened? Okay, let's take 1/4. Okay, we did it manually. So 12,450, that comes out to 12,450 plus 1/4 of 50 to 100, so equals to 1/4 times 50 over 200. That comes out to 0.0625. So what the equation looks like now is this. Janitorial equals to 29,800 plus 12,450 plus 0.0625 janitorial. 0.0625 janitorial. Okay then, now we're going to further solve for this. So 1 janitorial minus 0.0625, that gives us 1 minus 0.0625. That's like 0.9375 janitorial equals to 29,800 plus 12,450. 42,250. Then finally to find janitorial, I'm simply going to take my 42,250 divided by 0.9375. That gives me my final figure. I can just round this off by removing the decimal places. That is my janitorial figure. Okay, that is a very lengthy process, and you're going to do the exact same thing for admin. So you're simply going to plug this value back into the admin equation to find that. So what the admin equation is going to look like then is admin equals to its direct costs of 49,800. So 49,800 plus 50 over 200 multiplied by 45,067. 45,067. Okay, and that comes out to, let's do it over here. Actually, I have the figure with me. So admin will come out to 61,067. That is your admin figure right here. Let's just copy it here. So admin 61,067. That is your answer for admin. Now that you have calculated both costs using that very lengthy process, you will now proceed to allocating these costs. So first off, let's take janitorial. It doesn't really matter in which one you take first. So let's take janitorial, admin, books. Oh, sorry, not books. That is CDs and other media. And we're going to allocate janitorial based on, again, we're going to allocate it based on the square meters because that is relevant to janitorial, right? So janitorial is 45,067. Right? And then we're going to allocate it to admin based on, so 45,067 times, let's make it smaller so I can see it, 50 divided by 200, okay? And we're going to round that off later, and then we'll do the same thing for the rest. So 45,067 times 120 divided by 200, and finally, where is it multiplied by 30 divided by 200. That gives me my total figures for janitorial. Again, I'm going to do the same thing for admin. I'm going to copy the figure here, admin. I'm going to take it here. Let me just increase the size a bit. 61,067, and the departments are janitorial, CDs, and other media. And then I'm going to use employees as the base to allocate these. So it's going to be like 61,067 times 1/4, and then again 61,067 times, I think 2/4, yeah, 2/4, and then finally times 1/4. There we go. That is your final answer for both of these, right? But that isn't your final answer, right? These are simply your allocated costs. Now, in order for you to find your final, right, you want to find the answer where you allocated costs to your final operating department. So you have CDs and you have other media, right? So in order for us to do that, I have the numbers right here with me. So our direct costs, again, same drill. Direct costs for CDs are 76,520, and for other media are 97,880. Now we're going to take the allocated costs from janitorial and add them here. So janitorial gives us allocated costs of 27,040 and 6,760, and then admin gives us allocated costs of 30534. We can round that off. We're going to do that in a sec. Okay, so we're going to round these off. There we go. And that gives us total costs of these three up together and these three up together. There we go. That is your final answer, guys, for this chapter. Now, what I want you to do is to practice as many questions as you can, because this is a tricky chapter. It can throw you off. It is simple, but it is tricky at the same time. So I hope this video helped you out, and I tried to explain the concepts to the best of my abilities. Again, as always, if you have any questions, concerns, comments, or you need any extra help, you can always email us at inquiries2geeked, that's just one E, at gmail.com. Have a great week, guys, and stay tuned for more great videos.